Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready to get your fix? With the Wicks here on this beautiful Tuesday, December 7th, 2021, and welcome to the show, whether that be on Facebook or YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, hey, don't be afraid to go down and hit that subscribe button. It would be much, much appreciated. So, when I woke up on this beautiful, true Identity Tuesday, I took just a quick peek out the fabulous window that I got here, and it's a pretty big one. So it was a pretty big peek, if you would say, and it's a fucking winter wonderland out there, folks. I mean, geez, I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. You know, being in Minnesota, being in the Midwest. I mean, it's eventually going to come. That's just what is ultimately going to happen here. It's just that's what's going to happen in December. But I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, there's like fucking 2 to 3 inches of snow out there. I mean, can't Mother Nature just fucking, ease us into the snow instead of just wha-bam? You got snow, okay? I mean, oh well, I guess. I mean, that's just how it's got to be here in December here in the Midwest. It's just cold as shit. Windy, cold as shit, fucking blizzard, snow. I mean, roads, geez, it is what it is. All right. But last night, we got to witness one hell of a game, but definitely a crazy one at that. If you guys didn't watch it, I'll let you guys know kind of what happened here briefly in just a bit. And we're going to get to that game, obviously, here in just a minute as well. But we also have to dive into some of the true identities of a couple of teams around the NFL. And then we're going to end up talking about Tom fucking Brady. Because, hey, why not, obviously. It's going to be a good one, I think, for today. So anyways, let's get to the world of football. Are you ready to get your fix? So last night, obviously, Monday Night Football had to take place with the Patriots taking on the Buffalo Bills. I mean, it was a crazy game. Now, I had no clue that it was going to actually be as windy as it fucking was. Okay, this game was absolutely it was just one of those games where you're like, I don't really want to play tonight. It was just super, super windy. I mean, there was a picture of what the field goal post looked like in Buffalo before the game, where one field goal post was like this, the other one was like this, basically. So it was tilted like that, tilted like this. They had to bring a forklift in, fucking straighten those bitches out a little bit, get them so that it's easier to kick a field goal than it would if it's like a little crooked, obviously. And then it started snowing a little bit. That ended up kind of going away, or snowing a little less hard, if you will, during that game. But it was a very interesting setting for both teams. I mean, Mac Jones, he had to go out there and perform. A kid who's really never seen snow, never really played in snow. In 2015, he had a tweet. He's like, "So just so you guys know, I've never seen snow." I'm assuming he's seen it before then, or after that, I should say. Especially, obviously, last night's game, he definitely seen it then. I mean, he was all fucking just bundled up, ready to rock and roll out there. But this was a tough game. This is a tough fought game by both sides. Okay, if we look here, the New England Patriots ended up getting the win, 14-10 over the Buffalo Bills, sending the Patriots to 9-4 on the season, and the Buffalo Bills to 7-5. Now, this was a must-win ball game for the New England Patriots because it means they hold the number 1 seed in the AFC East. but they also hold the number 1 seed in the AFC playoff standings as well. And if they lose last night, Buffalo moves to number 1. Patriots move to number 2 in the AFC East, and then I think Buffalo, or maybe it would have been like Tennessee would have had the number 1 seed, then Buffalo, and then it kind of would have went on like that for the rest of the seedings as of this point if the season were to end today. Right now, the New England Patriots are Super Bowl or are the number 1 seed in the AFC standings right now. But you look right there. You guys are probably looking at this stat like, what the fuck? Just what? 2 for 3. 19 yards for Mac Jones. That was really interesting. So the whole game, basically, they had to run the ball. Okay, they had to just go out there and do the best they could against that wind. The Patriots had to go against the wind the first quarter and the third quarter, where, look, literally every single time they had the ball, they ran it. I mean, 10 carries, 111 yards, and a touchdown for Damian Harris. And that touchdown just happened to be a fucking 64-yard bomb, which was the only sign of fireworks in the building at that point in time. I mean, it was, and punting was also another interesting little factor that kind of played in to this game, where the Patriots, when they were going against the wind, they punted, and it was like a 30-yard punt, and that was it. Or the next one was like a 20-yard punt, and it kind of blew out of bounds. I mean, the wind was just all over the place, causing havoc for every kicker, every quarterback, literally every little thing on the football field. So the Patriots elected to run the ball, run, right down their throats the entire game, make this a very interesting, fast but yet slow-paced, boring type of game. Now you see there Josh Allen was able to pass the ball for 30 times, only completed 15 or 50% of those, 145 yards, had a touchdown. He fumbled while he carried the ball for 39 yards. And I had to put Nick Folk up here for 2 for 2 on field goals. This man actually kicked some field goals, some pretty decent ones for the New England Patriots. He was going with the wind when he was kicking those. So I had to put him in there because there was really no receiver that went off for New England. Okay, I mean, 2 fucking completions from Mac Jones. It's crazy what really transpired last night, because I mean, you couldn't punt, you couldn't pass against the wind. It was a very, very rough outing. But Bill fucking Belichick had the right formula the entire game, had the right idea what to do, how to do it, and he ultimately got the win. Okay, he beat the Buffalo Bills 14 to 10 yesterday. And the Manning cast was a pretty good thing last night, I'd say. They did take a lot of people's advice, going from 4 guests to only having 3 guests. They had David Letterman as one of them, Joe Buck as one of them, and who was the other one? David Letterman, Joe Buck, and for some reason the third one's kind of slipping my mind at the moment, but Joe Buck let it fucking fly here and there a couple times, giving Peyton shit because a lot of the narrative around, or one of the narratives around Joe Buck last night was that he is not a big fan of Eli Manning, to say the least. Him and Eli really just don't get along, I guess, or Joe Buck made some really weird comments or not so good comments about Eli Manning recently, or not probably recently, but a while back, so he wasn't really on Eli Manning's good side, so he took a few shots at Peyton Manning, and at one point, he even was talking about, getting a divorce, probably a joke, and then he said, or Eli was like, or Peyton, it was one of the Manning brothers, asked him, hey, so what was one of your most memorable interviews throughout the years and throughout the games? And he said, Peyton, if I had to guess, if I had to pick, my favorite one would be that Super Bowl against the Carolina Panthers. And by the way, Peyton Manning got absolutely just destroyed in that Super Bowl, absolute pounding from the Carolina Panthers to the Denver Broncos that game. And then Eli was like, hey, you're kind of moving up on my list now, all right? Thank goodness. But he was a pretty good guest, David Letterman. He was a good guest. Okay, he brought some jokes, he brought some fire here and there, but he's getting old. I think for the most part, you could definitely kind of tell that. Another thing, so David Letterman kind of got on this whole spiel with. So David Letterman had to speak at a statue releasing of Peyton Manning, basically, and David Letterman had to speak at that. Because he is from Indianapolis, he's a big, I guess you could say, Colts fan or something. I don't even know if he's a big Colts fan, but he was there, and he had to do the speech. And Roger Goodell before asked David Letterman, "Hey, so what are you going to talk about?" David Letterman's like, "Oh, you know how much Peyton means to this city, what he's done for this city, all the games and the Super Bowl and stuff like that." And he's like, "You know, so what are you going to ask, Raj, or what are you going to talk about, Raj, or what's going to happen?" And Raj was like, "Yeah, I'm probably going to get booed. I mean, there's been boo, and basically is what's going to happen." And as he was trying to tell the rest of that story, it did hit halftime at that point. Like, it was halftime, but I felt like they could have stayed on for just a little bit longer. But either NFL or ESPN decided to fucking cut him off as soon as he brought up Roger Goodell and that whole booing situation. So I kind of found that a little sketchy, if you will. I mean, it was just like, huh? Okay, weird that you got to cut him off right there when he's trying to tell a story about Roger Goodell and how he said, "Oh, I'm probably going to go get booed" and stuff like that. And I don't know, that was pretty interesting to say the least. But and I guess I forgot the third guest was Aqib Talib, and he was absolute fireworks. He knew when and when not to speak with Peyton and Eli. Him and Peyton have had some history together. They both played on Denver for those couple years that Peyton was there. He won a Super Bowl with Peyton, and he was a really good guest. I thought. I mean, he gave a lot of insight on the New England culture and stuff like that. And he said there was like 3 things you have to do in order to love New England, love playing for New England. And that's basically just do your job, show up on time. And there was like another one there. And I mean, that makes 100%, or that makes complete sense, honestly, of why you're going to like New England and like playing for New England and like playing for Bill Belichick. But it was a pretty good game for the most part. I mean, tough one for the Bills because they are a passing team and they really don't have a backfield, and we'll get to that in a little bit as well. So, I mean, literally they couldn't do a whole lot. They just their defense really had to stop the run, and they just could not do that against New England, where Damian Harris, broke off that 64-yarder to start the game. I mean, that cut was just fucking, he was running, then he just fucking dips, and it's a fucking wide-ass hole for him there. It was a solid game. It was a boring game. It was a quick but yet slow game as well. A lot of running for New England. I mean, literally every single play was a run play. A lot of the same ones, but, I mean, Buffalo couldn't stop it. And if you don't like it, stop it. Basically, if you can't stop it, that sucks. That sucks for you. But New England was able to hold on for the victory, beating the Buffalo Bills 14-10. Like we showed here, 14-10. New England Patriots now 9-4 on the season. The Buffalo Bills are at 7-5 and now second in the division. I would have never thought this would have happened at the beginning of the year. I mean, I have the Buffalo Bills and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers making the Super Bowl. I mean, shit. Guess who's back again. Billy's back. Call a friend. Stuff like Bill Belichick is an absolute fucking genius, folks. Absolute genius. The Buffalo Bills could not stop the run game, could not slow down the Patriots offense, could not stop them from wasting time on the clock. And let me tell you, if that touchdown from Damian Harris doesn't happen, Buffalo probably wins this game because it was only 1 touchdown, 2 field goals. 1 touchdown, 2 field goals from New England. They even had to go for 2 because there's no way in hell they were attempting a field goal against the wind. I mean, there's no way in hell like you were able to aim that kick and have an accurate kick. I mean, there was just no possible way that was going to happen. All right, but pretty good one, 14-10 New England. And that kind of brings me to our Week 13 pick'ems results in which, every Friday on Fantasy Football Friday, me, John, and Logan, guest hosts here with me on Fantasy Football Friday, we all dive in to every single game of the week. Who's going to win? Who's going to lose? Is my record going to continue to suffer, or is my record going to continue to thrive? Well, here are our pick'em results. You can kind of see on the screen. Hopefully it's not that bad. Yeah, I did use a fucking Bitmojis for our little faces. But, I mean, who gives a shit, right? But basically what this screen is telling you right here are those are the teams we picked to win this week, win their games. And the ones that are obviously crossed off have that red X right there. Those are the teams that we picked to win but ultimately lost their games. It was a brutal one. I mean, we all had the Bengals, the Vikings, the Ravens, and the 49ers losing. The only little tweaks there for John and Logan was that John had the Bills beating the Patriots. Didn't happen. And Logan had the Bears beating the Cardinals. Didn't happen. It was so. I mean, we had a pretty good pick'em week compared to past weeks. 10-4 for me this week. I mean, so I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? John and Logan 9-5. Logan's actually been picking it up a little bit. Last week he suffered big, but I think all three of us really suffered pretty big. But right there, I mean, we all had pretty similar picks throughout the entirety of the slate of games. There where, Logan only had one different pick, and that was the Bears, and John only had one different pick, and that was the Bills. And you see that they resulted in losses. Where mine, I mean, I just had those four. So, I mean, don't mean to toot my own horn, but I think I'm pretty solid at this picking shit. I mean, I think if we had to go look real quick at the record, I probably haven't updated it. Let's see, 9 has 13, so I'm 10-4. So I'm 72-40 on the year. John is 64-48, and Logan is 49-63 total so far on the season. So we're looking pretty solid so far, especially mine. I mean, 72-40. Can I get a yes, sir? I mean, or whatever you want to say. I don't fucking know. Can I get a hooray? Hip, hip. Hooray. I'm doing pretty solid on that front. But those are our Week 13 pick'em results, which brings me now to True Identity Tuesday. That is what this show today is all about. What identities have we figured out in the NFL up to this point? We have a couple to kind of dive into, two of which played last night, one of which me and John have been kind of high on. We were very high on him on Friday, where nobody could fucking hear us. The stream was lagging. Hopefully it's not lagging right now, but we were pretty high on this guy as well, so we'll dive into these three true identities that I have figured out, starting with the first one. Now, we got to watch the New England Patriots take on the Buffalo Bills yesterday, obviously. And right then and there, right after the game, I knew to an extent what the New England Patriots' true identity is. And folks, the Patriots' true identity is Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick runs this offense, this defense, makes this team pretty much fucking tick on all cylinders, gets them going 24/7. I probably could have used a better graphic than that, but hey, we're only getting better. We're going to learn, we'll make more and stuff like that, but that's the identity of the New England Patriots is Bill Belichick. Now, Bill Belichick is 252-96 career. That's his career record in the regular season. They were 7-9 last season. They are now 9-4 this season, folks. I mean, it's just a complete fucking 180 from each of these teams, or from each of these teams from the New England Patriots. And it's crazy because now they're first in the AFC East. I believe last year they finished third in the AFC East, with the Dolphins and the Bills being above them, the Jets being below them. I mean, Bill Belichick is an absolute mastermind, what he's capable of doing. In the last 5 weeks, for New England might be a test, but at the same time might not be too big of a test. But we look right now, they got the bye week coming up, and then they take on the Indianapolis Colts, who are riding a hot streak at the moment. Hard Knocks has been released here and there. So they are looking like a solid football team. So that's going to be a tough one for New England to win. I think they can definitely win that game, especially the kind of role they have been on as of late. Then after that, they got the Bills once again. Okay, they just beat them yesterday. They got them one more time this season. If they win that one, Patriots win their division. No doubt in my mind that it won't happen. So that's going to be a very, very big game for not only the Patriots, but the Bills as well. That's going to be a good one. I expect a dogfight in that one. Then after the Bills, they got the Jacksonville Jaguars. New England's going to win that one. There's no way Bill loses that. I think Bill's a lot. He's more of a mastermind at coaching football than Nick Saban would be. I think that's who. Yeah, not Nick Saban. Urban Meyer. Excuse me. Nick Saban's the Alabama Crimson Tide head football coach, but he's way better than Urban Meyer. He's more of a mastermind. He has a better team overall. He knows the schemes. He knows what to do, when to do it. So that should be an automatic win. And then they got the Dolphins. Last game of this season. Now, this one's a really interesting one because you know how New England always lets the Dolphins sneak in one win. Well, the Dolphins already got that win. It was the first game of the season. The Dolphins beat the Patriots. And, what are you going to do? Patriots are ultimately going to win that one because they're not going to lose twice to Miami, even though Miami is on a roll. They already gave Miami one win like they do basically every single year. So that's enough. Okay, New England's going to win that one. We're looking at a possible, let's say they win 2 and lose 2, 11-6. It's a pretty good finish. Say they win 3, they're 12-5. In best case scenario, obviously 13-4. That would be phenomenal for New England and what they are able to do, and see how they go from there into the playoffs. So that is the Patriots' true identity, Bill Belichick. Now the other team that played last night, the Buffalo Bills, I think we figured out their identity. And I think this identity's kind of been has been obvious in past and definitely throughout this entire season where, look, the Bills' true identity is the passing game. And I say that basically because, last night we looked, they tried running the ball, but they also tried passing. They tried passing quite a bit. 30 times they tried passing, and it just wasn't working. So you can really tell that they are a passing team. That's where they excel at. That's how they get their points on the excuse me. That's how they get their points on the board. That's how they move forward. And God, that fucking, I don't know what that was, but they are a very good football team when the passing game is wide open for them. Okay, and I also say that the passing game is their true identity, basically because their 4 top receivers here. Stephon Diggs on the year has 898 yards receiving with 7 touchdowns. Emmanuel Sanders has 581 yards with 4 touchdowns. Cole Beasley has 541 yards with 1 touchdown. And Gabriel Davis has 342 yards with 3 touchdowns. So Josh Allen is spreading the love, so to say. He's back there. He's like, all right, you're not open. All right, you're not open. Cole is. Fucking hit Beasley down the field. He's going to get yards. They're all getting yards. Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, Matt Breida aren't cutting it for the Buffalo Bills at all. They're not a good football team with those 3. And I've been on this for the last 2 years since I've actually started Get Your Fix. I said, look, the Bills don't have a running game. They need a running back. They need to draft a running back worthy of the running back title. Devin Singletary, garbage. We can go back to the graphic real quick. Look at this. 10 carries, 36 yards. Garbage. Absolute garbage. That's exactly what he gets every single game. He might get a touchdown or he might fumble it fucking 3 times. It's just kind of, what you're going to get with Devin Singletary. Zach Moss, same thing. Matt Breida, same thing. I think he actually fumbled yesterday as well. So, there's some things to be had there, some conversations to be had around that running back room, around that running back situation for the Buffalo Bills, because ultimately, man, this sucks to say this because I have the Buffalo Bills still going to the Super Bowl. Obviously, I made that pick a while ago. I can't go back on that, and we might make a new pick. No, we can't. Never mind. We can't do that. So I already had this pick, but I just don't think Buffalo can win in the playoffs, let alone win a Super Bowl, because of the run game, because they don't have a run game. And I've talked about this quite some time, or quite a bit lately, about, look, you get the running game established early on in the game. That opens up your passing again. Now you're a two-dimensional offense instead of a one-dimensional offense, if that run game is established and it's working. The Buffalo Bills can't fucking establish the run game to save their lives, so they're a one-dimensional offense. That's why I say their true identity is the passing game, is their receivers. And with Josh Allen, fucking wheeling and dealing out there, obviously. So the Buffalo Bills, their identity is the passing game. They need to figure out the run game, especially if they want to make a run in the playoffs, especially if they want to go to the Super Bowl or let alone win the Super Bowl. They need to figure that run game out. And it's going to be a tough one because they're stuck with who they got at this point. Trade deadline's gone. They could go pick up a free agent, but why would you? I mean, you could go get Todd Gurley. I don't necessarily think they have the money. I don't necessarily think they want to. They don't want to give up on, their guys or something like that. But the Bills, their identity is the passing game. And their last 5 weeks, they play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's going to be a tough one. Then they play the Carolina Panthers. They'll probably win that one. So let's say they're 1-1. Then they got the New England Patriots. They're probably, like I said, that's going to be a big one. If they lose that one, they're 1-2 on the year. Okay? I think that's the right fucking, if I'm watching the screen here. 1-2, maybe, yeah. Whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So they're 1-2. Then after that, they got the fucking Falcons. They're going to piss all over the Falcons. So they're 2-2. Then they got the Jets to finish the year off. They're going to fucking steamroll the Jets. They're 3-2 to finish the year. And then you're looking at a 9-7 record, or a 10-7 record, excuse me. Probably still second, or good enough for second in their division, unless Miami wins out and wins the rest of their games this year, which I don't have them beating the Patriots. We just talked about them. So the Buffalo Bills have some ground to make up, especially if New England continues to win. It's going to be tough for them to get back to that number one seed in the AFC East. But as of right now, look, the Buffalo Bills, their true identity is the passing game. So lastly, for True Identity Tuesday, me and John have been really high on this guy and this team as of late. Want to see them succeed, want to see them continue to roll. We said, all right, are we going to pick against them? They played the Raiders, and John said, no. Ride the hot hand. Continue to make this selection until it fires back and says, yeah, you're wrong pick, basically, kind of what happened. I shouldn't have gave a bird, but, I don't give a shit. Language anyways. But, so, the Washington football team is who we're talking about today. They are on a roll as of late. Look, since their bye week, they are 4-0. They beat the Bucks 29-19. They beat the Panthers 27-21. They beat the Seahawks 17-15, and then they beat the Raiders last week 17-15 as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the Washington football team's true identity is Taylor Heinicke. And I say that basically because this man is a G. He has a completion percentage on the year of 67.9. He has a total of 2,809 yards passing, 18 total touchdowns, only 11 interceptions. The touchdown to interception ratio could be a little bit better. It could be a little bit more cleaned up. But it is what it is, okay? Taylor Heinicke is the Washington football team's true identity at this point because the hype he brings, the momentum he gives to Washington, the aura around him is just, it's next level. This guy really wants to win. He wants to succeed. He wants to have fun, and he's doing all those things. He's on a 4-game win streak since the bye, and in those 4 wins, he has a total of 881 passing yards, 7 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. He is on an absolute tear as of late and against some pretty solid teams. I mean, he beat a solid Bucs team. He beat a hard-nosed Las Vegas Raiders team. Even though that Raiders team is completely falling apart, he beat a pretty, I guess Seattle is doing non-Seattle things as of recent. They can't get the ball to either of their wide receivers. And he beat Carolina, who I think at the time when they played him were a little bit better. They had Cam that first week back. Kind of got the whole feel of, he took his helmet off. He's like, I'm back. On the bench, how about that? I mean, Jesus, he stunk it up there the next game. My goodness. 9 or 5 for fucking 21. I mean, jeez Louise. But Washington's looking pretty solid with Taylor Heineke as their quarterback. Could be a franchise guy for the future. Who knows? I mean, you never know in this business. But Washington's last 5 weeks are all division games. These last 5 weeks for Washington is going to really decide and depict if they make the playoffs or not. It'll decide their seeding. It'll decide if they win their division or have a chance to win their division. It'll decide if they have a chance to maybe make a run at the Super Bowl. Their last 5 games go like this, folks. The Cowboys next week. That's going to be a tough one. Then they got the Eagles. Going to be a tough one. Then they got the Cowboys. Then they got the Eagles. And to finish their season off, they got the New York Giants. So if I had to guess here, they're probably going to win 3 of these 5 games on the year. And probably, I have a feeling they're going to lose both to the Cowboys unless they figure something out and they get one of those or sneak one of those away with a win. Then we're looking at a 4-1 finish to the year. All division games basically this last stretch of games. So that's going to be a very interesting stretch to watch, to kind of keep focus of or keep track of, because like I said, these last 5 games being all division games, it really is going to decide whether or not they make the playoffs and have a chance at trying to go to a Super Bowl, try to win a Super Bowl. So we'll see where this kind of transpires and how this continues to go. I mean, Heineke's just absolutely balling out. 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in this 4 win streak, or the win streak of 4 games. So it'll be interesting. But the Washington football team's true identity, folks, is Taylor Heineke. So last but not least, man in the arena, Tom Brady. I almost did their exact voice. Man in the arena, Tom Brady, episode 4 is already out officially. It is. It's supposed to drop at fucking 8 p.m. Central Time. We've talked about this in the past, but it is out on ESPN Plus as we speak. Going to be a banger. I am excited for this man right here. And then we got the jersey, obviously, this guy. But not only is Tom Brady going to be he is the main guy, because this is his docu-fucking-mentary. But tonight's episode is a good one. Should be a very, very good showing. You know why? Because this one takes place in the 2007 season, where the New England Patriots decided to go 18-0 and lose the fucking Super Bowl to the goddamn New York Giants. Cried like a little bitch when New England lost that one. Had $10 on that game. I can't remember. 2007, I would have been about 10 years old at the time, so I had $10. Didn't really want to lose that. I was a huge New England fan, huge Tom Brady fan. I was like, there's no way New England's going to lose this. Undefeated. Nobody can stop them. What do you want? They got they got Randy Moss, Wes Welker. The team is, poised to win a championship. No way they're going to lose. And then, you had the whole fucking, the helmet catch somehow. He's going back. He's like, oh, yeah, I got it. Touchdown. I'm fucking staticky. But the helmet catch, and then Plaxico Burress or whoever the hell it was catches the touchdown. Ends the game. How you doing? Keep it moving. The New England Patriots undefeated season is no more. Start crying. I'm just devastated because, who knows when the hell the next time is that we're going to witness a team go undefeated as long as the New England Patriots did, or who knows if we're going to see a team actually finish the entire season, including playoffs, Super Bowl, undefeated like the Miami Dolphins did way back when. So it's going to be an absolute banger, I think, of an episode, because not only is Tom Brady in this, but in every episode they have one or two people kind of in there talking with Tom Brady, telling the story of that season. Well, Fox Sports' own or Fox's own Michael Strahan is going to be a part of this documentary. Longtime New York Giant, has that gap tooth look. I mean that's just fucking Michael Strahan. You see that and you're like, oh, what's up, Mike? That's basically how it goes. But he was an absolute freak of nature in the NFL. Played really hard for the New York Giants. And then we also have not only this guy, but this guy as well. Fucking Randy fucking Moss, baby. That is who is in this documentary. Should be one hell of a showing, I think, for Man in the Arena. It's going to be a great one because, as you guys know, what this documentary is all about is it's basically going to go through all 10 of Tom Brady's Super Bowl appearances, the wins, the losses, the ups, the downs. You're going to get it all. And this just happens to be a fucking loss and a really, really big downfall. What are you going to do? I mean, this is going to be an absolute banger of a show, but it's also going to give me some heartaches. I mean, I'm probably going to fucking tear up just thinking about it, just knowing that scene is going to pop up of the helmet catch, of the fucking, look, Gardy's like, yep, you know it's going to happen tonight. It's going to happen that way. Going to be a good one, I think, for the most part. So go ahead, watch that. It's on ESPN Plus. Man in the Arena, Tom Brady. Out now, episode 4. I don't know how long they're going to continue to do this. Obviously, probably 10 episodes, maybe 11. Who knows? Especially, I mean, if he wins this year, you're going to have to throw in an 11th one, hopefully. But that'll be a good one tonight. So go ahead and watch that. And that is all I got for you guys today. Go enjoy the rest of your, fucking winter wonderland night out there. It's cold as shit, but go enjoy it. Have a great one. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow to talk basically about Thursday's game, because that's the game I'm going to be going to, so we won't have the show on Thursday, so we'll dive into that tomorrow. We'll also talk about my power rankings, which will be released as well before the show tomorrow. We'll have them on here, so it'll be a good one, but go enjoy the rest of your night. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time, like always, on Facebook and on YouTube. And you just got your fix with a Wicks. Appreciate it, guys.